What it does. Chapter 3, Part 2. Contains all knowledge. The universal mind contains all knowledge. It is the potential ultimate of all things. To it, all things are possible. To us, as much is possible as we can conceive. According to law, shall all the wisdom of the universe be poured over us, we should yet receive only that which we are ready to understand. This is why some draw one type of knowledge and some another, and all from the same source, the source of all knowledge. The scientist discovers the principles of his science. The artist embodies the spirit of his art. The saint draws Christ into his being, all because they have courted the particular presence of some definite concept. Each state of consciousness taps the same source, but has a different receptivity. Each receives what he asks for, according to his ability to embody. The universal is infinite. The possibility of differentiating is limitless. Life always becomes to us the particular thing we need when we believe that it becomes to us that particular thing. The understanding of this is the essence of simplicity. As all numbers proceed from the fundamental unit, as all material forms are but different manifestations of one formless stuff, so all things proceed from that which is neither person, place, nor thing, but is of the essence of all things. Our thought and conscious receptivity differentiate this universal possibility. By drawing it through our minds and causing it to flow into particular channels through the conscious receptivity of our different faiths, one state of consciousness will differentiate one kind of a result, another mental state a different manifestation. Mental work is definite. Each state of thought taps the same principle. Each uses the same law, is inspired by the same spirit, but each draws forth a different result. Here is multiplicity proceeding from unity. This is what Emerson meant when he said that unity passes into variety. But someone will ask, can we bring out both good and evil from the one source? Of course not. The first principle is goodness, and only insofar as our thought and action tend toward a constructive program will it eventually succeed. We cannot fight the universe. It refuses to be budged from its course. We can only go with it. But there is ample latitude for personal expression. How, then, are we to know what is right and what is wrong? We are not going to know. We already do know. Every man knows right from wrong in its broadest sense. It should be considered right to live and to enjoy living, to be well, happy, and to express freedom is to be in accord with divine law and wisdom. Here is latitude enough for the most expectant and the most enthusiastic. The principle restated. Let us restate our principle. We are surrounded by an infinite possibility. It is goodness, life, law, and reason. In expressing itself through us, it becomes more fully conscious of its own being. Therefore, it wishes to express through us. As it passes into our being, it automatically becomes the law of our lives. It can pass into expression through us only as we consciously allow it to do so. Therefore, we should have faith in it and its desires and its ability to do for us all that we shall ever need to have done. Since it must pass through our consciousness to operate for us, we must be conscious that it is doing so. The one who wishes to demonstrate some particular good must become conscious of this particular good if he wishes to experience it. Therefore, he must make his mind receptive to it, and he must do this consciously. There is no hocus pocus in a mental treatment. It is always definite, conscious, concrete, and explicit. We are dealing with intelligence and should deal with it intelligently. There is no occult trick in giving scientific treatments. It is just the reverse. Simplicity should mark our every effort, and positivity should accompany all statements that we make into the law of good. The secret already known. A treatment is a statement in the law, embodying the concrete idea of our desires and accompanied by an unqualified faith that the law works for us as we work with it. Let us waste no further time looking for the secret of success or the key to happiness. Already the door is open, and whosoever will may enter. Undoubtedly, each of us is now demonstrating his concept of life, but trained thought is far more powerful than untrained, and the one who gives conscious power to his thought should be more careful what he thinks than the one who does not. The more power one gives to his thought, the more completely he believes that his thought has power, the more power will it have. Treatment active, not passive. A treatment is an active thing. When one gives a treatment, he is not sitting around hoping that something may happen. He is definitely, constructively, actively stating, sensing, knowing some specific good. This is in accord with the principle which we seek to demonstrate. If we give treatments without a definite motive in mind, the most we can accomplish will be to promote a solitary atmosphere. A passive meditation will never produce an active demonstration, any more than an artist can paint a picture by sitting down with his paints but never using them. The mind must conceive before the creative energy can produce. We must supply the avenue through which it can work. It is ready and willing. It is its nature to spring into being through our thought and action. In an iron foundry, the pig iron is thrown into a great furnace and melted. That which was solid becomes liquid and is then poured into molds which are fashioned in different shapes. The iron itself neither knows nor cares what particular form it takes. It is formless, ready to take any form supplied. If we did not place it in the proper molds, the liquid would assume no particular form. I got go back, listen to that. The mind must conceive before the creative energy can produce. We must supply the avenue. We must supply the avenue through which it can work. It is ready and willing. It is its nature to spring into being through our thought and action. In an iron foundry, the pig iron is thrown into a great furnace and melted. That which was solid becomes liquid, and is then poured into molds which are fashioned in different shapes. The iron itself neither knows nor cares what particular form it takes. It is formless, ready to take any form supplied. If we did not place it in the proper molds, the liquid would assume no particular form. This is the way it is in dealing with the subtle energy of spirit. But the molds are made in our own subjective minds. Through conscious and specific thought, purpose, and direction, we should be very careful not to think that because we make the mold, we must create the substance. It already exists. It is part of the life in which we live, a part of the universal energy. Definite molds or concepts decide the shape which is to be created from the general liquid. This should prove to us that there is a specific technique in mental treatment which we should not overlook. If we wish a certain good, we must instill into our own minds a realization of this specific good, and then, as this idea is the mold we place in mind, it will be filled by the substance necessary for the complete manifestation of this good in our lives. Therefore, if a man is seeking to demonstrate, he must tell himself that he has faith in his power, in his ability, in the principle, and in the certainty of the demonstration for which he works. Faith, being a mental attitude, is according to law, and even though one doubts, he can overcome his doubts and create the desired faith. Definitely. If this were not so, only those who by nature have faith in God could ever hope to understand the principle of the science of mind and spirit, which is subject to certain definite, immutable, and impersonal laws. However, even though faith is a necessary attitude, it is something that can always be established by explaining the theory and proving the principle. What it does. Chapter 3, Part 2.